Hello, and thank you for tuning in. Most of us know that we need to do more to care for the natural world around us. Forests, wetlands, the seas and coasts, and the rivers that flow into them are all utterly essential for our prosperity. They provide us with drinkable water, with the air that we breathe, with a habitable climate, with much of our food and our medicines, and as we've become acutely aware over the past year, with places to recharge ourselves and to experience wonder. And of course, as well as securing these immediate human benefits, for many people, safeguarding nature is a moral or spiritual imperative too, just as we have a responsibility to support our family and friends and neighbours. We have a duty to look after our fellow species as well. I want to start by saying a little bit about why optimism is so important and so timely right now. Why we believe we can be positive about the future of the planet, and indeed why we have to be. And for me, really, there are two different reasons. The first of these is that while we know much of the natural world is in serious trouble, and that we have to act urgently if we're to avert mass extinction and prevent a climate catastrophe that will harm us all, we also know that repeated measures of gloom and doom can only go so far. They may wake us up, but we also need to be inspired. We need to know that there is an alternative, that there are ways out of these crises, and that there are actions we can all take that really will make a difference. Time and again, in fields from medicine and public health through to road safety, it's been found that persistent exposure to negative messages, far from galvanising us into action, instead elicits avoidance and denial. So entirely understandable inward-looking defensive behaviour rather than the outward-looking behaviour change we know we need. If instead we also hear positive messages about things that are genuinely succeeding in tackling these problems and in making a difference, we can then learn what works. And so we can replicate these successes, and we can all be inspired and empowered to do a great deal more, and to insist that organisations and businesses and governments do the same. So I would argue that if we really want to transform things for the better, we simply have to be positive and to spread the word about what works. My second reason for being cautiously optimistic is that, contrary perhaps to what we're used to seeing online or in the papers, when we look around us, there really are very many examples from right across the world where conservation efforts are succeeding. From the fenland landscapes a few miles from where we're recording this, to Madagascar, from the deserts of Australia, right across to the southern oceans, there are hundreds of cases where, despite all the problems we know about, conservation efforts mean pressures on the natural world are easing, populations are recovering, and habitat losses are slowing, and in many cases even being reversed. The past year has taught us all, I think, about the enormous importance of the health of the natural world to human well-being. And it's also shown us something else that's fantastically important, that when we really want to, we have the capacity, both individually and politically, to act swiftly and to go to exceptional lengths to address great challenges. The job of Earth Optimism is to discover, to celebrate, and to share what some of those actions are.